Nice. All right. So basically,
Hello.
we are down.
Try that one again. Desktop audio back on now.
Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. Now words are coming out of my mouth.
Yes, they are.
And hello, welcome to another episode of Codex Legendarium. Happy Sunday. Good to see all of you. We return. We are down one Justin though, so we will gradually be getting people back, hopefully. Yeah, I was gonna ask for channel announcements, but I don't think there are any. Anybody have anything they want to plug or mention?
I actually do.
Oh,
This Saturday, or this weekend, I should say, some of you may know, is Extra Life Weekend. We'll be raising some money for charity. You can catch me over at Valdrianth's stream on Saturday at 3 p.m. Yes, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be playing. I'll be playing in a game over there. If you're following me on socials, you'll get announcements and stuff like that. So
exciting. Oh, I did forget. I am streaming after this the ending of Resident Evil 7. So if anyone wants to come watch me play that, it's not for a good cause. It's just for fun.
Fun is a good cause.
Thank you.
Which is the one that ends with Leon punching the rock?
I don't know, but I'm excited for it. I've actually been skipping around in the games.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 5 or 6. One of those.
Yeah,
two.
Okay. It's one of those two. I played it through.
4. Because Leon's in 4.
There's another one he's in after that though.
I didn't
it's
know
not
that.
4. Because it's the not as good one where the final boss fight is like against Wesker in a volcano.
Oh well, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Okay. All right.
All
it's not
sure
great.
it's
Anyway.
great. I'm sure it's great.
Anyway. You move like a 2-ton boulder by like punching it. It's so Anyway. Okay, so let's see. Last we left off, recap. We started last session with a enormous crab kaiju attacking the city of Titansgrave and just absolutely obliterating the place, and had just by emerging absolutely prevented the navy from being able to do anything about it, because pretty much all their ships were at Monty's trial, because it was such a high profile trial that everyone showed up to see it, which then put all their ships in one place, which caused a problem when the crab kaiju emerged and trapped all of you on the island that the fort was on. Except not you guys, because your ship was sheltered away in its own little cove. Since you were VIPs, you got your own like little side entrance. So you made your way across the water with Captain Eastburn, as well as a contingent of naval soldiers to go and help the city and evacuate people and whatnot. When you arrived, or right about when you arrived, the crab's forward movement was halted by an artillery barrage from the other fort in town, which I keep saying Lord, Captain Eastburn was confused about, because that fort should have been basically only on a skeleton crew and with not enough people to man that many artillery. But he was like, whatever, I'll take it. Y'all fought a crab kaiju, and you beat it, you killed it. It is dead. If I remember correctly, Yule killed it specifically. Viktoria went down. And I think no one else went down. I think it was just Viktoria. Went to leave and got attack of opportunity and just smacked by a giant crab claw.
But Yule was only able to kill the crab because Viktoria chose not to deal the final blow.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But yeah, after that, you surveyed the damage and everything, looking around the partially ruined market district after the crab kaiju had waded its way through the buildings. And you talked to Captain Eastburn. He basically was just like, yeah, there was people got injured, some people got killed, but not nearly as many as if this thing had been able to just like rampage freely until we had been able to stop it ourselves. Y'all are superheroes, basically. So the city is forever in your debt, and you were just like, great, why don't you abolish your nobility? That's what you can do for us. And he was just like, big ask, but all right, I'll see what I can do. Which we also, I don't think we got Viktoria's reaction on the abolish your nobility request too, which was which fits for, everybody else in the party, but that one's a little bit of an interesting request for her, given that she is one. But yeah, after that, y'all went back to, or two of you went back to Lady Stanway's estate to rest up and recover, while Tedros and Monty went to find the orchid with your ship, found where it had beached itself on a sandbar. Monty did one last walkthrough of the ship, said goodbye, held a funeral for the ship, the captain, both, and then set it ablaze and burned the orchid to down to the hull and let it just kind of like float away and sink beneath the waves, and came back just being like, nope, it's gone. It's getting rid of it. Because the orchid provided far too much political power to whoever was the one sailing it. So y'all came back. So we're gonna start basically. Y'all had a rough couple of days there. So I think we're gonna say that there's been a couple of days of just rest and relaxation and recovery from your various injuries and combats, and just like letting your nervous system rest for a minute and just like purging the adrenaline from your system, because you had a eventful few days. You broke into, or a couple, it was like, first you went below ground and fought a bunch of robots in an underground ruin and elected to flood it so that you wouldn't have to, so that the Dwindale section of town could not be flooded. Then you went and broke into Noble's manor and fought a horrible lobster monster in his basement. Then you went to a party with the enemy, hosted by the enemy himself, wooed the enemy, and then killed the enemy in his own backyard. And then Monty turned himself in, and then you prepared for a trial that involved the partially reanimated body of Dieter, and then a crab kaiju. So you all had a very busy week. So I think just y'all need the rest. So just a few days of just kind of downtime and rest and recovery is warranted. So I think we're gonna pick up after a couple of days of just, you've had a chance to, like, to hang out with the monkey, feed your cat, do some like last minute adjustments and tinkering on the pistols after its first field test. Just generally kind of hang out and rest for a bit. But that will bring us, that cannot last forever. So after a few days of that, Monty is off and away with his mom and the Navy, and he is currently working and talking with them to sort of shape the future of Titan's Grave and figure out where things are going to go next, what his role is going to be, that sort of thing. So that's all kind of up in the air, and that just kind of all leaves you in Titan's Grave, a grateful city that you all just saved, with not a lot to do. So you got to figure out what are you doing next, and what are you doing now. So no one here wakes up at dawn. As mid-morning maybe breaks, and you're all getting up and beginning your day. Actually, we'll say the day has begun. You've gotten up, you've done your morning routine, as it's sort of just like the first thing you're doing for the day after you've kind of gotten up, gotten ready, gotten food. Where do we find all of you as the day begins, or as your day is progressing?
I'm sorry, we're at Lady Stanway's,
Yeah.
or at the ship?
Yes.
Yeah,
You're still at Lady. Well, that's a good question. I mean, so you're staying at Lady Stanway's house, but you could make your way over to the ship. You could be wherever, really.
I'm trying to think. The monkey's on the ship.
Yep.
Okay.
Does Lady Stanway have a dock that's big enough for us to just park the Silver Maw there?
No, but the district her house is in does. So you could move it closer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think Tedros will suggest that we move it closer, just so that stuff that should probably no longer be in her manor. I don't remember if Montblanc actually released. Did he release the Komodo dragon?
He never released the Komodo.
He never released. Okay, he talked about releasing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he talked about releasing it
in her home.
Yep.
I'm assuming that like the servants have just been like throwing like animals in there for it to eat.
He's been going back. Monty's been going back and forth and feeding it and stuff. You've all been managing.
Okay.
Worried about that little Komodo dragon.
Little. I think that thing's bigger than Yule. Actually, I know it's bigger than Yule.
It definitely is.
I know.
I 100% forgot about this, and I was like, why didn't you guys tell me this in your recap of what happened?
You were there.
Dragon in the home.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been chilling this entire time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Named after Monty's dad too.
Oh my god! Can we take the Komodo dragon to the ocean so they can meet each other?
Oh my god!
I think Monty has introduced them.
Okay, well, if Tedros is going to suggest that we move the ship, then Yule would just be like, yeah, can I come with?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Are we moving things or just the ship?
The entire ship is probably good. We may have to move it back later. I'm going to ask some questions and see if we can perhaps get some support from the Titan's Grave Navy on maybe getting some sort of armaments on the ship, like better than just what we've got so far.
Yeah, and maybe they know something about how the ship works.
I doubt that they have any idea of what's going on when it comes to a magical flying ship.
Well, they had draconic ruins here. I mean, I thought maybe somebody had come across something like that.
Well, it'd be a long shot, but I wouldn't be against checking it out, although they also have a school for magic here, so maybe...
Yeah, they don't. Not here.
Oh, not here.
Oh, Right. Yeah,
like,
I'm sorry. Yes. Other
That
places.
one's yeah.
Other place. Never mind. Scratch that. Tedros would remember that.
But there is someone who knows magic. A little bit.
You gave her the spell book, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I've been thinking about Marietta.
Yeah.
We offered for her to come with us and learn more about magic, but we haven't seen her after all of the commotion. I'm curious if maybe she would be interested.
I think it would be nice. But I also think it's probably a really big ask for her. Whatever she's planning, whether it's a yes or a no, I wouldn't be surprised if she's still mulling it over, you know?
Well, we had big asks of Cadence, and he's helped us quite a lot.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think he kind of had a vested interest in us doing that. I mean, we literally took care of the big problem that was his problem and Monty's problem, our problem.
But how could she not have a vested interest in helping us when it could help her learn more magic?
People are funny sometimes. Sometimes you can offer people the things that they really want deep down, but they don't feel like they can accept for whatever reason.
Well, I'd still like to see her again and ask again.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I would also be really interested to see what she's been up to.
Maybe Lady Stanway knows where she lives.
That's a good point.
After we move the ship, I could go and talk to her?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. We'll see if Viktoria wants to talk to her as well.
Yeah, we could do that.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Why wouldn't it be?
Well, sometimes you might have other ideas. So if you have any other ideas, just let me know.
Other ideas like what?
I don't know. I'm just a guy.
Well, I don't have any ideas. I just kind of wanted to see her.
That's fair. I'm sure that there are some things that Viktoria and I probably need to talk about. So if you want to go check in on her yourself and just let us know, I'm okay with that too.
I think that I could do that.
All right.
If it's not a problem.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Thanks, Tedros. Let's go
Anytime.
move the ship.
Yes. And as best as he can with what he remembers, Tedros will get the ship moved over. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little bit rough, but he's been taking notes.
But luckily, you don't. Yeah, you're not going very far or very fast.
Yule's just standing there watching like it's all magic. She has no concept of how this works.
Yeah. But yeah, once that happens, Tedros will see what Viktoria is up to and what she's planning to do for the day.
All right. What is Viktoria up to?
Victoria's vibing in her room. A lot has happened that has kind of shaken some beliefs and shaken her to her core. So she's kind of just been recluse in her room. Now, in my little visit to my new friend, what I've picked up on if he spoke any other languages other than the common that we share. Ideally, I'm asking for a specific language.
Oh, okay.
I'm asking if he speaks primordial.
I would say you'd probably guess that he does, if not outright asked, mostly because you would have seen a lot of runes in primordial in the various things. Remember that one room you went into where the thing happened?
Yeah, and there was the wall writing, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Primordial.
Cool.
There was the 4 things, and then you went and did
and I went and did that thing. Yeah.
That room, primordial all around those 4 things.
Cool. So under the guise of talking to Terrence, if anyone happens to pick up on this,
okay,
and ask, she's just kind of babbling stream of consciousness in primordial. If he's listening, he's listening.
Okay.
He's listening to her chat about literally everything and just stream of consciousness. But if he's not listening, she's just venting, just getting it out.
Okay. Anything in particular, just like
kind of at the beginning there is a bit where she's like, like I really doubted that this was going to work. Like I was ready to cut it off and like, not do it anymore. But then I gave it a little spin and I think I could get used to this, like this coming into the true power shit's kind of got some base to it,
Okay.
And then she's just like, have you ever seen like a giant fucking crab? Like, were you watching? Did you see that giant fucking crab? Like, what? It spoke to me. Like, what? Why? Like, what's going on? Kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, you don't get any response or anything like that, but you can just sit there and kind of vent in primordial. You're not really sure if he is listening.
Mainly, I'm just trying to speak in a language that I know no one else speaks.
Right. Yeah.
So
that no one hears you or no one knows what you're saying.
Yeah, they're just like, wow, what the fuck? Because Victoria's primordial sounds like earthquakes and like that earth breaking right before the tragedy. So the servants are probably like, first a fucking dragon in a room, now this shit. Like, who do we have in this house?
Yeah, I like to imagine the primordial. Yeah, primordial has like 4 distinct dialects to it. Like it's all the same language, but it like depending on how you pronounce things, like where you emphasize the different vowels and consonants and things like that, it takes on the 4 different dialects. And so like when Viktoria and Galena both speak it sounds completely different, even if they're saying the exact same sentence, because like they emphasize different things, and Victoria's like all consonants. Like Victoria's like always emphasizing like the hard consonants for like that like crunchy, rumbly type feeling, whereas Galena's is much more like the flowy,
the vowels,
the like F's and S's, and like all of those words that just kind of like flow nicely.
Yeah, so that's what Viktoria is doing.
Okay. All right. So then that would be where Tedros would find Viktoria when you go to find Viktoria.
Hey. How you doing?
Much better than a few days ago.
Well, not getting the wind knocked out of you by a giant crab will definitely improve your overall health.
Yeah, you got hit pretty hard, didn't you?
Yeah, it's not my favorite, I'm not gonna lie. Probably the hardest I've been hit. But I didn't go down, so I'm gonna take that as a win.
As you should.
You doing anything right now?
Why?
Well, Yule is out. She's attending to some business of her own, and I was hoping that maybe you and I could check some stuff out, take a walk around the city. I know you didn't really get a chance to look at it too much before everything happened. And I kind of have a thing that I've been thinking about.
What kind of thing?
So, you already know that the airship doesn't really do what we need it to do without an elemental. And I was thinking, hoping maybe that if the spirit that was in Sveruk exists and is an elemental spirit, then maybe there are others And if they're not busy with, protecting an entire region of the world, then maybe we could convince them to, come hang out with us for a little bit. I figured that if we ran into anything that would involve doing that, you would probably be way better suited for that than I am. So, it might not be super interesting. But I can promise you that if it's boring, drinks are on me.
You should have just led with that.
Well, I try not to play my hand too early if I can help it.
Yeah. The old card tricks. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very well versed in card tricks.
Yeah, I imagine you are. So, join me.
Lead the way.
All right. And Tedros will head out, and he'll take Viktoria on the bridge so that she can see that and see that longer walk that's there, going into the city, and just point out a couple of things that he's seen, like some places that he's noticed, places, any places that he's actually been inside of. He'll give a little bit more information about. Just very, very short, this is what I picked up in like a week and a half tour.
So, okay, nice.
It's all going over Viktoria's head. Like she's just like, cool. That's wow. And she also did not bring her axe nor her armor.
Okay.
Just because she's like, doesn't want to be as recognizable, and I feel like the axe and armor makes her a bit more recognizable. So we're just vibing, cash.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so you walk around. Yeah, you've been to a few places. You kind of had a chance to walk around. Victoria was around for a bit of the beginning too. Like I think Victoria went to the tailor shop and everything. So Victoria has been here, but you can still walk around and show her around what you've been able to find and see around the city. Places where you guys have gotten food and things like that.
And I think that he will probably, when he gets the chance, this would have happened, I think, before he asked Victoria. He would have asked Lady Stanway if she knew of any stories of elemental spirits in the region.
Let me see here. One second. Okay. Okay. She will. This probably be over the past couple days. She would peruse her storybooks and everything, and she would tell you, that the only real elemental spirits that she would have heard about would have been mostly ones of the sea, but she's not sure if those are like actual elemental spirits or like kind of the personified ocean that Titan's Grave kind of worships, almost the closest thing they have to worship. She would be able to tell you though, from looking through her stories and everything, that a land that does have a lot of elemental sightings and where the elements seem to the elements just seem to kind of come alive or tend to would actually be Aor.
Of course. Cool. He will still ask around in a couple places, but he will keep that in mind.
Okay.
And other than that, I think it's just like a sightseeing tour for the most part.
All right. So you're on your sightseeing tour, walk around the city. While you're doing that, what's Yule doing?
Unmuting her mic is what Yule is doing, and fending off a cat. Hello, Ashton. You go over here. Okay. Okay, so Yule is in Lady Stanway's house. In her room, looking, like, rifling through her bags, just, like, trying to find the right outfit, not really knowing what she wants to wear, not knowing why she even cares what she wants to wear. And she's, like, looking at, like, her, like, fall-themed dress that she had made done, and she's like, this is probably too formal for just going to see an acquaintance. And then she's just gonna, like, leave her room while, like, clutching this fancy dress and, like, pacing the halls, looking for Miss Stanway, Lady Stanway.
Okay. Yeah, you can find her pretty easily. She's usually around her house.
Lady Stanway?
Yes.
Hi. I have a question. A couple of questions, actually. Marietta Veer, do you know where she lives?
Oh, yes. The Veer family is very they're a family of quite high standing. So yes, I know where their home is.
Is it inappropriate to go to a family's home if they're of high standing? If you had a message for someone?
My dear, I don't think that anything is considered inappropriate if you were to do it after how you saved the city.
Oh, well, it's kind of unfortunate that I would have to save the city in order to do something like going to someone's home, though.
Well, I don't know that it would be considered inappropriate if you hadn't, but certainly now I don't think you need to worry about propriety.
Okay. Okay. So if I wanted, though, to come off nicely in Titan's Grave Society, what type of thing should I wear?
Well, it does depend on what you're doing. We do put a lot of emphasis on clothes, for such things. We have certain outfits for going on walks and promenading through the park. We have certain outfits for going on an afternoon sail. We have outfits for going to market or going to the shops. We have certain outfits for attending court, things like that.
What about visiting a friend?
Well, for visiting a friend, I would say something simple, and I think something simple would be appropriate for that.
What about visiting someone you admire?
Well, it depends on who the person is and why you admire them, I suppose.
There's someone I met at a party, and I admire them because of their courage.
Well, if you asked me, which you did, I would say that if this person is someone worth admiring, then they won't particularly care how you're dressed, and I would just say you should dress how you feel the most comfortable.
Thank you, Lady Stanway. That's really helpful.
Always happy to help.
Yeah, you will just sort of like nod awkwardly and bounce away off to her room and stuff all of the clothes just back where they came from. And she's just gonna look in a mirror and straighten out her outfit, which is just what she typically wears, her like aerobic acrobatic sort of themed tunic and leggings combo. And she will walk back to Lady Stanway to confirm the address.
Yeah, she'll
received.
You'll like go to I imagine you like go to leave and you're just one of those like I have no idea where I'm going. Lady Stanway.
I asked where she lives and did not get the answer.
You asked if she knows where she lives.
You
didn't actually ask where she lives.
Good point. So she goes and gets the address from Lady Stanway.
She'll tell you. You'll be able to find it. It's in the same district, so it's not that far of a walk.
Okay. Is there anything of interest when she's walking past?
Mostly just a lot of other of the manor houses and things like that. This entire district is very filled with canals. narrower ones, usually for like the personal size boats. So it's a little bit of navigating, just like finding the different like small footbridges that you have to take that arch over the canals to go from like land to make your way over.
Are there like little like ferrymen, like gondola
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
things?
If you wanted, you could have also just taken Lady Stanway's like gondola over and just like been ferried directly over.
Hmm. That's a concept. Can I slurp back to that option that she didn't know
Yeah.
was
Oh yeah.
available? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because you've taken that boat places before
Okay,
within the
we'll
city.
do
So
that. She would
okay.
ask Lady Stanway if it's all right to borrow her
Of
ferry.
course. Of course, dear, of course. Feel free. I'm not going anywhere today.
Okay, and then is there a person who's driving it?
Yep. Yeah, you've got like a gondolier.
Perfect.
That's what they're called.
Okay, she goes to the Veer's house, and I don't know how the system works. Do I get off the boat and knock on the door?
So it's actually basically a lot of these places have basically like a water driveway, like Lady Stanway. Lady Stanway has one that like basically it's like a very narrow horseshoe where you go down and there's a turnaround. Uh, the Veers have much more of a circular one where it's almost like a I think it's the Greek omega symbol where it kind of like is like kind of like the wide
Yeah.
like more wide horseshoe like almost circular around that connects back to the horizontal canal in front of it.
Okay.
Uh where there is like a just like a very nice garden in the middle of the circle that is very showy and like intended to be viewed and not walked through. Like it is a several layers of like flowers basically like in descending order of height, so like it's the tallest in the middle and they like spread downward, so as you're making your way around and pulling up to the front of the house, you can like see all of them and like see this just beautiful display of color. uh there is like gates at the entry of the driveway that like actually go down into the water, but like you know you're a hero of the city and you're in Lady Stanway's boat. So like the people that manage the gates like see you and like open the gates for you, and then by the time you make your way around, uh, you can get to the uh uh like front of the driveway, the part closest to the house, and as you do, there is a like butler looking guy standing there waiting, like kind of waiting to receive you.
Hello. I'm here to see Marietta Veer.
Is the young lady expecting you?
No, I'm not sure she even wants to see me. But I would love to extend a message.
I will go see if the young lady is available. Pardon me for just a moment.
Thank you.
And yeah, he makes his way off for a minute. You kind of awkwardly stand there in the front of the house for a bit. The house is very, it's like a blocky U shape, basically, or actually a little more. It's like almost like a U, but bends outwards, so it kind of like encapsulates some like rear area, but a lot of the windows face towards the front, adding kind of more surface area. So you can just see like all of these just like glass and stone in front of you, just like reflecting the sunlight as you stand there and see like around you other people on gondolas going by and things like that and going to other houses. And then a little bit goes by and then he comes back and says, all right, this way.
Oh, thank you. And she follows.
Yep. And yeah, he leads you into the house, big wide open entryway with like those alternating black and white tiles that just like kind of checkerboard pattern across the whole floor, with a big chandelier up above. But he takes you through the kind of like the main hall and then hooks a left and then brings you over to a side door and brings you outside, where he then starts leading you through some gardens. Uh, and then yeah, it's like tall hedges, fountains, water features, bridges going over like miniature canals that run through the gardens and just kind of like just fill it with the quiet sound of just burbling water. Uh, and yeah, and then that is where he brings you around to towards the back where it actually looks out over a miniature pond, like maybe like 30 feet across. with like benches and things, but it's pretty well enclosed by hedges around. Where you can see Marietta sitting there, and you can see a pile of books, sitting on a bench near her when she stands up to greet you. You can definitely recognize the spell book that Tedros gave her, just like in the middle of the intentionally in the middle of the pile.
She'll approach quietly, but trying not to scare her. She's probably not expecting anyone, or maybe they told her that she was coming.
Well, yeah,
she doesn't. Yeah. Yula just doesn't know, and she's just like, I am approaching the situation with caution.
Okay. The butler guy just like kind of bows, slight bow, and then turns and goes. Marietta just
mimics the bow to him.
He pauses, gives you a little bit of a look, and then shakes his head and just keeps going. Not like that. Kind of shakes his head, just kind of shakes his head, just like a whatever, and then just like leaves. But yeah, and then Marietta greets you and says, hello, I wasn't expecting to see you today.
Hi, Marietta. I came rather unexpectedly myself. I just wanted to see you again, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten how to talk. Hi.
Hello.
I hope you're well.
I've been fairly well, yes. I mean, I understand a large portion of why all of us are well is thanks to you.
Oh, I really didn't do that much. My friends really did the most in that battle. But, you've been really helpful to us too. And I just wanted to come and say thank you for the information you've given us and for helping with, I heard about like the fire.
Just a small thing. I didn't well, I only helped a little.
A little counts a lot.
Well, thank you.
I know that it's a secret. People shouldn't say the M word, but we both do magic, and I know that you don't have a lot of opportunities to learn it here.
True, I have. She actually like kind of peeks around and like looks down where the butler left, and then she goes and just like shoves the other books off, and you can see like she definitely just like was reading the spell book, but then just like hid it when she heard people coming. She opens up. She says, "I have been reading through this and practicing a bit."
Is she sitting like on a bench or on the ground or?
She stood when you came in, so she's standing up right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, my friend Tedros gave that to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we heard about the magic universities that exist in these lands. I don't know exactly where, but I know that it's not here. And I know that we're definitely going to try to stop by one of them because someone might actually know something about real magic.
Well, that's very exciting.
Because what you can do is different than what we've seen a lot of people do at, I guess coming from studying, or at least that's what I've heard. We've seen a lot in our travels, and you have an actual gift. I'd hate to see it wasted.
What exactly are you saying?
I'm saying that we have a large boat, and we have a lot of adventures that we're going to go on. Not all of them will be fun. Some of them will be dangerous. I can't guarantee your safety, but I can guarantee you friendship, and I can guarantee you learning and new experiences and more to life than what people expect of you.
Well, that does sound certainly tempting. And you can tell she's just like, it's just like, all your dreams are coming true, but can you actually do it?
I just want I want you to know that there's obviously no pressure to make any decision of any sort, now or even after we leave. You could always send us a message. I actually don't know how, but we could figure it out. And Monty's parents, Sully's parents are here, so we'll definitely be back. If now's not the time, then that doesn't mean that it's not ever. But if you wanted to come with us when we go, there's a spot available for you.
I think I could... I don't know if my mother would approve, but if you were happening to be leaving and I happened to get on the boat and you happened to leave with me on the boat, then she wouldn't necessarily be able to say anything.
I'll send you a message. You'll know exactly when we plan to go. And she'll just reach out and grab her hands.
She like kind of fumbles with the book a little bit because she's holding it, but she'll like kind of tuck it into her arm and go for it. As she does, actually, a scrap of paper falls out of the book. And I'm gonna need a perception check from you.
Oh shit! Where are my dice? Come on, you all. Come on, you can do it. Ooh, where is my sheet? 16?
Okay. As the paper kind of falls, it tumbles in a way that like it kind of like tumbles through the air and it lands face down. You can definitely see there's writing on it. You can see that there is it kind of looks like a rough draft of something. Like things are still crossed out and then continued and like scribbled out and like added in like weird angles, like something someone is in the process of writing. But as it's kind of tumbling and falling, you spot two things, one at the very top of the page and one at the very bottom of the page. You spot the beginning, first two words are "Dear Readers," and the bottom of the page, you see a sort of signature, and all you catch is Lord H something.
And does she catch it, or
it kind of like it falls and lands face down on the ground, and then she like sees it, and then just kind of like she doesn't like immediately go to snatch it. You can see she notices it, and she kind of shifts so that she's kind of standing
she
like
doesn't want me
over it
to see it. Okay. Yule's not gonna pry.
Okay.
She catches her attention, but she just sort of puts that in the back of her mind and tries to remember. And she'll say, I'd also like to know if you're free. Would you like to go on a gondola ride with me?
I think that sounds very nice. Yes, actually.
Okay. And Yule will like break contact and like turn around, kind of just to give her the opportunity if she wants to pick that paper up.
Okay. Yeah, she will. She kind of like basically says like, I should bring these things inside. And she goes and like turns to like put the books down and start piling up books. Like in the midst of that, we'll just like subtly just like swipe the paper up and stick it between two books.
Yeah, and Yule like stepped away and is kind of just like fixing her clothing and just like fiddling with things to just not notice what she's doing.
Okay. All right. But yeah, once she's got them all piled up and everything, she says, I'll just drop these off inside and then I would be happy to accompany you.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm new to the city and I'd love someone to show me around.
Well, I certainly know this district. But I can show you a few things. Oh, have you been to the gardens yet?
I'm not exactly sure where I've been, but wherever we see that you're not familiar with will be something new for both of us.
Well, that's also true. But if you haven't been to the gardens, we'll go by them. We should make sure you see them because they are lovely.
Okay, sounds great. And she'll lead her to the gondola.
Okay, yeah, she goes inside, she drops off the books and everything. And then you can get out to the gondola. And then she's kind of just like, all right. So shall we just wander?
Sounds great to me.
All right. Yeah, the two of you can get into the gondola and just kind of start sailing around. You can kind of just like this district is like the rich side of town, so it's all the very nice houses and everything. So you're kind of like going down the street. You can look at all the nice houses and gardens and things like that. You do eventually pass by the northern end of town, or northern end of the district, where you can see those big, giant glass, like warehouse-sized glass buildings, where it's basically like a framework, just like covered in mirrors, like a greenhouse, or not mirrors, like windows, like kind of like a greenhouse. And she points them out and says, "Those are the Rainshine Gardens. Have you had a chance to go inside?"
Oh, no. I actually saw these from the outside, and I thought they were just beautiful. I was told that people of high standing go there and look at things.
Well, it's a place to see others and be seen. It's a social location. People go there to, I suppose, it's a place for people to go to when they know they want to speak to people, but they don't know who they want to speak to. And so they just sort of go and walk around and see who they run into.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It's also very pretty.
Well, I can't wait.
Let's go there then.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can make your way over, and it's like a series of these like warehouse size, like bigger than warehouse sized greenhouses. They're huge. But yeah, you can park the gondola out in front of one, and then like go up. There's doors that you can walk in through, and yeah, on the inside is just basically a park, but with these big domed ceilings overhead, made of like wrought iron with glass panes in between them. And as the two of you start walking, like there's even like streams and stuff in here that like the greenhouse kind of cuts off, or not cuts off. It like goes over, so they flow out through certain parts of it. It looks like actually at the edge of the building, the greenhouse comes down to basically water level, and then has kind of like bars that like it flows through. So like the whole place is kind of sealed off, but still has a river like and water running through it. So it gives the feeling of walking through a very nice and lovely park. But as she'll explain, it also is some place you can go and you can walk around no matter what the weather is like, because in here it is always dry and lovely.
Wow. It's like the valley.
Oh, which valley?
Oh, I'm from a place called the Valley. I don't know where it is.
You don't know you're from it, but you don't know where it is?
Yeah. I'm really bad with direction, and I'm from a traveling circus, so we traveled out of the valley, and I have no idea where we went or where the valley is if I wanted to go back.
That sounds a little frightening, to be honest.
Now that I think about it, yeah, it kind of is. But it's also fun and something different. I mean, beautiful green grass and flowing streams and farming and children laughing and playing and not being able to play with the other children. I mean, it all gets pretty old.
Not being able to play with the other children?
Sorry, sometimes I say things and I realize how strange they must sound. I wasn't allowed to be a part of Valley society. I was born I don't know how I was born. I was found in a cabbage patch.
Oh.
And they all thought that because I was I looked like everybody else in a lot of ways. I also had a horn, 2 horns. Once upon a time, this one broke off, but growing out of my head. So they thought that that was a sign that I was evil. So I wasn't allowed to play with the other kids or go to the regular school or be the spring bean. But I was able to be the spring bean here, and since I've left the valley, I've seen a lot of different types of people, and I found out that there's so much more out there, and how you look does not at all equate to how you are as a person.
I suppose that's true. There was a few things in there I didn't quite catch, but I mean, I think the point is I'm sorry that you weren't able to play with other children or be accepted.
That's all right. I feel accepted now. I found out that family isn't everything. And what matters is the people that you choose to be your family. And I've found a really great group of people to call family.
I would certainly say you have. They all seem lovely.
They're amazing, and they all like you too.
Ah, very glad to hear that.
Tedros would love to talk to you more about magic. I just know it.
Oh, well, I'd hate to disappoint him. I don't know too much about magic myself.
Well, I'm sure he'd just be interested in learning about your experience. Tedros is wonderful. He doesn't expect things of people. He takes you as you are.
That also sounds nice.
As they stroll, like, are there a lot of people around?
Kind of, yeah. It's not very populated. Like you can get some like good distance and privacy like between you and other people.
Can I ask how you found out that you could do magic?
I s- it's always sort of been a thing for me. Ever since I was young, very young, I've been able to I just kind of noticed that fire does what I tell it to.
It just does it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense to me. Because, and then she just makes the tiniest little cantrip of light.
Mm-hmm.
It just does it.
Exactly, yes. You just sort of make it happen.
I don't know how to explain it. I just know that I can do it. But the thing about it is that Tedros knows how to explain a lot of things. And we've just been on a quest for answers. So soon I'm sure we'll find out a lot more about how it all works and how to control it better.
That does sound nice. I mean, I've been able to control it, but I haven't been able to do much more than just this. But well, you know.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean that you can't do more, just that you don't know how yet.
Hmm, I suppose that's true. I've been reading through the book and it's been difficult because it's different. It's very measured and scholarly and not at all it doesn't read like how it feels. So I'm still learning how to connect the two.
Have you found anything in the book that is of particular interest?
Oh, well, I mean, it's all interesting, really. I've been sort of bouncing back and forth and dabbling in all of them.
So you are able to do the things that the book is telling you to do?
Sort of, I think. I mean, it's sort of you it's from what it says and from what I've read, it seems it's all about the specific gestures with your hands. You have to be very specific. She kind of holds up her hands, like clumsily working her way through somatic components, and like you have to very specifically move your hands and say specific words in a specific way. And there's a channeling of energy, and it feels like I'm trying to stand on one foot and balance something on my head and juggle at the same time.
I think I could actually do that.
Well, then maybe you would have a better time with this book than I would.
No, I not the magic, just the acrobatics.
Hmm.
Well, is there anything that you need magic to solve?
How do you mean?
just curious if you had any problems in your life you were looking to use magic to fix.
No, it's funny. I suppose there's plenty of stories about people who uh they seek magic or they look for magic because they want it for something, they want it to do something. Um, but I've always just kind of been fascinated by it for its own sake, not
Yeah,
to make it do anything, but just because it's fascinating.
that's totally fair. And I mean, I don't even really seek magic at all. It just kind of happens to me. But I know that there are a lot of people that have hard lives or are struggling with some sort of curse and need magic to fix, those problems. I
Yeah.
suppose I'm just trying to understand if there's anything that you need.
Well, that's the thing. That has been the thing about how I've lived and grown up, is that all of my needs have been taken care of, and I don't need to worry about a thing. And it is terribly boring.
Does sound quite boring. Well, it doesn't have to stay that way.
Yes, you've mentioned, and it does sound very appealing. I'm still thinking about it.
Well, how do you like to spend your free time?
Reading mostly. I like to read and learn about magic and stories, histories, things like that.
Do you like food and drink?
Oh, yes, who doesn't?
um, I am famished if you'd like to go for something. I don't know any restaurants around here, but I know they probably exist.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. There's several. There's a lovely cafe actually just outside the gardens. If you'd like to go.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
They
And the
they
two of
go
you,
there.
yeah, two of you can go and grab a nice lunch at the cafe. While this is all happening, are Tedros and Viktoria getting up to anything in particular?
Um, I think Tedros is probably trying to gauge if Victoria is having a good time or if she's just kind of going along with it for sake of going along with it.
What a great question. Such a great question. If she's not having a wonderful time, she's hiding it very well.
Okay.
I will say she does just enjoy this calm, not life or death, high stakes stroll with her best friend. She's enjoying just spending time with him, just chatting about nothing of importance unless he tries to change that subject to something of importance.
I don't think he is. I think he's sticking with just general stuff for the time being, just small jokes and what ifs and things like that. I think at one point he probably asks Victoria, "Hey, what do you think would be a good? We've been kind of imposing on Lady Stanway for the entire time that we've been here. I thought it might be a good idea to like get a gift or something. I legitimately don't know what, but
Okay. Let me, because whenever people would come and visit my uncle, they would always bring stuff to him. And
makes sense. Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do with the other advisors was like guess what was in the boxes and then sneak into the boxes and see if we were right. So I'm just trying to like remember what things people would bring him.
Okay.
I think, hear me out. I think we should find her a book, an adventure book.
I agree. I kind of wish I had taken a closer look at her library to guess if there's anything that she, doesn't already have. But yeah, I think we could.
I'm gonna be honest, really wasn't paying attention the couple of times I was in there chatting with her.
Yeah. I it's one of those things where I feel like we probably had other things we were worried about or talking about whenever we were in there for the most part. Reuniting Sullivan and his mom and uh figuring out what we were going to do and how we're going to do it and things like that. So
going to her for advice.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we find.
I don't know where a bookstore is here though.
We can find a bookstore.
Is there people just like walking around?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna just stop one.
Okay.
Just like, excuse me, question. I have a question for you.
Yes.
I am looking for a book. Where would I acquire one?
Presumably a bookstore.
I'm sorry, I'm not from here. Where are those?
Oh, well, there are several in the area. I think there's a few down the street that way. A few more in the market, just further down into the market district. There are some lovely rare books stores over in Eastbridge.
Okay. Thank you for your help. You've been wonderful. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, so I think we should go to Eastbridge because he said rare books, and I feel like rare means high chance of her not having.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Where is Eastbridge?
I'm assuming east of the bridge.
That is the district that the Lady Stanley's house is in. It's the fancy side of town.
Oh.
Okay. So maybe we hit that one
On the way back.
We hit that one on the way back, but we can see if maybe there's I don't know, a diamond in the rough or something here.
What kind of books do you think she would go for if not adventure? Like if we can't find an adventure book, what else do you think she'd go for?
It's a good question.
I feel like romance is also kind of a.
I was gonna say that, yeah. I was definitely gonna say that it has, something with some political intrigue and
Yeah, okay. That's not the kind of romance I was thinking.
Well, I mean, like it's part of the romance. What were you thinking?
I don't want to say it in public.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'm sure there's room in the pages for political intrigue and
yeah, but in those
all
kinds
of
of books, everyone just skips over those pieces, I'll be honest.
Okay, well, she enjoys the political intrigue, is what I'm saying. So maybe she'll find a holistic experience in this one. Come on, let's see what we can.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see what we can find.
So the two of you make your way over to Eastbridge to look for a rare bookstore.
I think we're gonna hit some of the bookstores around this area.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're gonna focus on this one. Okay. All right. So yeah, you two are just kind of looking around for romance novels.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll see if we can find anything that's like a political romance, but also very steamy.
Okay, a steamy political romance. I'm gonna need an investigation check for either from both of you or one of you with advantage with the help action.
I feel like Viktoria doesn't want to like be right beside Tedros while searching for these because she's definitely like flipping through these books. So I will make a case for two separate ones.
I am okay with that.
Investigation.
And he'll like tap her on the shoulder and be like, "Good luck," and he'll cast guidance, so she has a little bit of a boost.
What does that mean?
You'll add a D4 to your
sick.
search.
Okay. Oh God! Oh God!
Don't look at me.
Let me just elaborate. So I rolled a 2 on the natural 20 on the 20, the D20. However, my investigation is -2. And then on the D4, I rolled a 2.
So 2.
I got a 2.
So 2 is okay. All right. Wow. Okay, let's see. Hold up.
The final number is a 2 as well. Because I only have a +1 to my investigation right now. So
okay.
Neither of us know what romance is.
Yep.
I can tell you Tedros has never picked up a romance novel in his life. He knows that they exist. He's got the general gist of it. He's not read a single one.
Victoria's just looking at the covers.
All right. So the two of you can both actually land on a book at the same time. You're investigating actually, as if by fate, leads you to the same spot on a shelf. You like kind of coincide at the same point, and you both happen to land on one book, which seems like a great one to both of you, which is 70 and Frisky.
I mean, it's right there in the title, right? Like that covers, like, it's got to be it. I mean, it's probably not it, but also that.
I feel like a lady of that standing would kind of want a little bit more of a not so right there in the title.
But I thought, okay, yeah, but, all right, fair.
Okay,
fair.
Look, there's a bunch of like layers to it when like dealing with nobility. I know that you're not big on that, but yeah.
I mean, I understand. Like, I'm being very facetious. I don't think we should pick up a book that I wouldn't know how I'd even give her this book, honestly. I would literally have to just leave it sitting in her. Like, I couldn't tell her that any of us did it. Like, I would have to hire a man to deliver this book from
that's even
someone.
Worse. Maybe let's scratch the romance. Maybe romance is just not.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. It's a good idea. It's a good thought. Just
yeah. Grab a random book from the other shelf. What about this one?
Let's see. You get a what appears to be a crime novel called Kill the Tiger.
Okay, this is promising. Open it up to a random page. Is it one of those ones where it's like, holy fuck, do I have to keep reading? Or is it like, oh, okay, what's going on here?
Let me think. Give me another investigation check just to kind of get the gist of the book from just like flipping through it and looking at it a little bit.
Do I still have guidance, or is that like a one-time thing?
It's a one-off. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. It's a natural 20 for an 18.
You immediately get the gist that this book is actually god-awful. The reason being is because it's on the surface written as a crime thriller, but in actuality, it's basically you get kind of like some context here. You like look at the author page, and it is basically it is written by someone whose spouse thought it would be a fun idea to a rich person whose spouse thought it'd be a fun idea to buy a tiger and try keeping it as a pet, but it keeps this person, the author, up at all hours of the night. So basically, this is just a long, drawn-out fantasy about how they would try and get away with killing their spouse's pet tiger that will not let them sleep.
Oh, wow.
But they somehow were rich enough to get published.
Self-publishing, yes.
Yes, yeah. It's a self-pub. It's really just like a self-published revenge fantasy.
Titan's Grave has some fun authors. Maybe we should search outside of Titan's Grave authors. I don't know if they have any Aeorian books or wherever you are from. I feel like at this point I should know where you're from, but you have not divulged that information yet. So
I think it's been mentioned. The old lands. My family's there.
I don't
from
think
there.
I was here when you mentioned that.
It was right before. Well, I can, like, you probably were a little bit distracted because it was right before. Actually, it was a while ago. That's not important. I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't suggest any text from there. It's not the best, not the most interesting. I don't think, personally.
Well, Aeorian books can be quite interesting because that is where some Aeorians get their names from.
Yes, I don't understand your naming convention still.
Okay, it's super simple. We throw a big ass party, and then we take a book and we just go to a random page and find a random sentence. And that's it. You know, the kind of ideas that one of a kind, like your luck is your own, right? Like no one else has that name. No one else can take your luck. No, you know?
That's definitely interesting, but I'm still confused. How do you get the name then? You just your name is a sentence?
Yeah.
So Viktoria is short for something.
No, not my sister and I. We kind of had those names. But, you know, for example, like my uncle, you may have heard Galena and I refer to him as Uncle Liam, right? That's his shortened name. Let me dig through my mind recesses and find his real name. So his name is actually incredibly empathetic and tuned into the suffering of others. You may get lost in the pain you feel from the world around you, of the 5-star Chalice. I mean, Lord in front of that. But I'm not saying it again.
And in all of that, there is
Liam. It's at the very beginning. Incredibly empathetic.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
The parties are a hit. I mean, I just don't care for the names. Parties are a hit. Lots of dancing. Love it.
I would like to share at this point that every Aeorian you've met has had a name like that, and has had like a shortened and longer lengthened version of their name.
Every Aeorian.
Okay.
Including Viktoria's cat.
Did we get a name for your cat? Did we? I don't remember the cat's name.
Her cat had a naming convention. We literally saw this process occur.
Yeah. Let me find it.
Also, I put it in the chat, but like, it has to be, statistically speaking, possible for someone to get the same name as someone else.
Oh, certainly, yeah, it's possible. It's possible, but it's like
possible. Your own. Your name is your own. It's possible not to be.
It's possible, but it's not only so they don't all pick from the same book, too, is the thing. You pick a random passage from a random page in a random book.
But statistically speaking, it's possible.
Right, just like
then
how
you just hope that you never meet that other person.
Yes.
Just like how it's statistically possible. Yeah.
Basically, yes.
Just like how it's statistically possible to shuffle 2 decks of cards the same way, but statistically speaking, it's unlikely that any 2 decks of cards have ever been shuffled the same way ever in the history of the world.
Yes, But it's also the same thing of like when you flip the coin and you assume that it has to end sometime. You're flipping heads, you're flipping heads, you're flipping heads. You need a tails, and you're like, how could it go on forever? Statistics are crazy.
Yep, yeah, they are.
Anyway.
Yeah, session 21, we had a naming convention for my cat.
I didn't say we didn't. I'm saying I don't remember your cat's name. I have been saying I feed Victoria's cat. I don't remember the name of the cat I've been feeding for the past however many sessions.
The short form is Do.
Do.
I remember that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's it's a mouthful. It's a mouthful.
Really, I'll be honest, usually we only use it in like super important, like, you know, like back at the court, at the trial. Had my uncle been there, probably would have had to use his whole name. It's very like formal, you know.
Gotcha. Okay. Give me a sec, and Tedros will kind of look around to make sure he's not being watched. And then he will very quickly, he will use a spell slot so he can get in and out quickly. He'll use a spell slot to cast Detect Magic and just take a scope around to see if this random shop has anything that has any sort of magical signature in it.
Let me hold, please.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Viktoria.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just screaming point of magic that she is.
Is there anything, in addition to this, is there anything magical in Victoria that wasn't there before?
I don't know if she's added anything magical, but something may have changed. I don't know, Sam.
That is a good question. I would say probably you would notice a pretty consistent aura of divination on Viktoria.
So he was listening.
Got it. Okay. And I'm assuming nothing else in this shop.
Hold please. Let's see here. 1 second. You'd like to continue talking as you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just kind of looking around. Yes. You know, you've mentioned your Uncle Bliam like a lot, both you and Galena, but what kind of person is he?
He's wonderful. He's very kind. I think not Victoria, fuck, I'm Viktoria. Galena and I have learned a lot from him in terms of nobility and how to be good nobility. He's not a man that seeks to further his name. He just kind of finds funky people that can do funky things and just kind of adopts them. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you might not like him. He is still a noble, but I cherish him very much, and I owe him my life.
It's it's not. I'm not anti-nobility. I want to be clear about that. It's just it's hard to see systems being used against people. It's hard to see them need things and not be able to get them and know that there's somebody who has the ability to make that happen and doesn't. So,
Do you think me a bad person simply because I am one of those people?
I think you're one of the best people I know.
At that, your detect magic does actually ping off a book in the far back of the shop in one of the shelves.
Hmm. Give me a. I'm gonna go grab a book. I'll be right back. And he walks over and picks it up and gives it a once over.
Okay. You have to go like way into the back. It's like not in the restricted. It's not like restricted or anything. It's just like this is a big shop, and it's kind of like the. You can tell that it gets less and less organized as you move closer and closer to the back of the shop. You start seeing just like piles of books on the floor. You start seeing like shelves that are double stacked and everything. And so you're getting like the barest sliver of detect magic because it is the shelf is double stacked, so it's like it's in the row behind, and there's like you have to like move a stack of books aside and like pull books out from in front of it in order to reach it, and you can reach way into the back and pull it out, and it is a thick bound tome with like heavy leather cover that's like basically just like completely rigid and like it's actually bound in like rings together with the paper kind of bound separately inside of it. It looks very, very old, yet not. It looks old, but not like in a way that it's like falling apart or anything. It looks like the age hasn't gotten to it. And as you start kind of reading it, it just kind of like describe. It's weird because like the title, there's no title on it on the front, but if you open it up, you can see on the first page, like there is a very nice in that kind of illuminated script kind of way where it's got like the very nice handwritten title with like the inscription and decoration around the outside in big bold handwritten print. It says Manual of Gainful Exercise on the first page, and on the inside of the book it looks like it has just kind of descriptions of exercises.
Okay. And he picks it up and takes a look at it and says, okay. And he walks back over to Viktoria. I'm sorry. I just wanted to grab this before this ran out.
What is so interesting about it?
Well, let's just say that if you were using your other vision, I think you have other vision, you can see our stuff, right?
Um, um, great question. Mm-hmm. Once a day I can, yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't have to, but if you were looking at it, you would notice something a little bit extra special about this one too.
It is an exercise book.
It is that's what it looks like, yeah.
And are we still of the mind to give this one to Lady Stanley? I think she might be a little bit in about receiving an exercise book.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess. I don't know for sure. I'd have to take some time to look at it, but I think that this is probably for a different purpose, given its little extra mojo.
Or what if someone just enchanted it so that when you follow the exercises in this book, you get a really good exercise?
That would be good. Yeah. I'll check and see if I can figure out like anything about it before we I'll see if I can figure out anything about it that I think would be good, but we'll just we'll hang we'll hang on to this one. We'll hang on to we'll see how much it is, and then we'll hang on to this one if we can.
I still think we should get the backup book for
yes, no, absolutely. Maybe not the 70.
Yeah, no, not that one. Not the tiger one either. That one was too predictable,
Oh, awkward. Okay.
Is there a shopkeep here?
Yeah, like way in the front.
Viktoria will go up to the shopkeep, and if there's a bell, aggressively ring it.
Just standing right in front of it. So you just like walk up, make eye contact, just ding, 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 ding. Yes, how can I help you?
Hi, I wasn't sure if you were aware of me. Hi, do you have any books from Aor here?
Oh, we've got a few, yes.
Where would I find them?
Well, our organization's not very good, so sort of spread all over the place. I'm not really, I don't really differentiate by nationality in my shelving.
Cool. My friend wants to know how much his book is. And then Viktoria's just going to leave and start searching for Aorian books.
Okay. You bring the book up to him. Just, let me see it. Oh, well, this looks old and just describes exercise, so not really sure how many people really enjoy this. So I'll call it 30 gold pieces and we'll be good.
I think and he takes a look, roots around. I'm gonna check my actual inventory. He's like, yeah, I think it's worth it. And he will shell out the 30.
All right, pleasure doing business with you.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, and he tucks the book under his arm and carries on.
Okay, all right. And Viktoria is off looking for Aorian books.
Specifically, like Aorian young adult story, like not quite a child's book, but not like a Aorian politics 101 kind of book, but like those cheesy young adult love triangle books.
Okay.
From Aor, preferably one that she's read so she can recommend it.
Okay, but go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Oh God, if this is my downfall.
Yeah, you can tell. By the way, the two of you can tell this place is organized by order of arrival, not anything else. That is just back to front. That is how he organizes it.
So I got a -1.
Okay. With a -1, you probably just don't find any Aorian books.
Fuck this organization system. Just over her shoulder glares back at the shopkeep.
Not even paying attention.
Walks out the door.
Okay. All right. Tedros, you see Viktoria walk out the door, and you've got your new book.
All right. Well, don't say I never got you anything. And he hands her the tome of the Manual of Gainful Exercise.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to take this.
What? You're in really, really, really good shape. And actually put your physical abilities to use. So I figured if anybody would actually get use out of it, it'd be you.
Does it at least have pictures?
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a couple.
Okay, that's acceptable.
That's
acceptable.
Just give it a read through. I think you'll. I feel strongly that you will probably enjoy it. I skimmed it. It doesn't not necessarily up my alley, but it looks a lot like stuff I've seen you practice once or twice. So, but like different. I don't. You know what I mean.
How closely have you been watching me?
Just when I pop in or out.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. Is there anywhere else you wanted to check out, or are we on our way back, or
I mean, I think we could probably swing back to the manor. Unless you had something else you wanted to take a look at. We still have to actually find a book. So
yeah, there was that one in the east
yeah,
village, east.
The East Village.
What is it called?
East Bridge?
East Bridge. Yes. I swear, I'm trying so hard.
I know.
Man, my -2 in brain is not helping at this moment. What's the weather like? I feel like it's like tropical and humid.
Yeah, it's like pretty humid and sunny right now.
Okay, cool. I'm enjoying that. Still haven't gotten over spending weeks in the cold.
Mm-hmm.
So warmth is accepted. And she's just kind of, green, photosynthesizing, all those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the two go back to Eastbridge and you go to continue looking for books. While you're doing that, Yule, you have a lovely lunch.
Yes. Over lunch, okay, I was trying to think about the books, but they were there. She left them. She left the books. So Yule is gonna start fidgeting with her clothing, and she's gonna say, Marietta, forgive me if I'm being too forward, and you don't have to answer. But is there something you don't want me to know?
What? What do you mean?
Earlier, there was a scrap of paper that fell out of the spell book. And, I noticed that you didn't seem to want me to notice. And I tried to give you some space, but the more that I think about it, the more that I'm just a little worried for you, and I just wanted to make sure that you're okay.
She like goes like she's gonna say something and then it looks around, like sees people around. She says, I'm okay. I'll tell you afterwards. I'll tell you once we leave.
All right. Sounds good. Did you want dessert?
Oh yes, I love dessert.
All right, they'll get a dessert menu and have a dessert before leaving.
Okay, yeah. And you two can go outside and like walk down the street and find a place where it's relatively private. And she's like looks very paranoid. She looks around and makes sure there's like no one around who can hear this part. She says, that piece of paper was from a newsletter I was writing.
A newsletter?
Mm-hmm.
That's so exciting. What are you writing a newsletter about or for?
Oh, just people and society and things like that.
Oh, like the newsletters that went about with the, talking about Dieter and the court?
Yes, exactly like those.
Exactly like those? Like, you like how they're designed and you use the same designs?
No, exactly like those, as in those are mine.
Oh! Oh! Oh. Wait, so did you ever have a connection with Dieter?
Well, what do you mean?
The newsletters implied your interactions with him.
Well, he certainly was pursuing me, and that was not something I could just leave out of a high society newsletter.
Oh. Oh. Wow. So it's true. You did find your own way out.
Well, I mean, I certainly found a way to entertain myself.
Well, your newsletter was what first informed me of your existence, and it made me worry that there was someone just as bad as Dieter out there that liked him, and they'd formed some sort of evil alliance. And then I met you, and then I worried for you that Dieter was going to do something terrible to you. And he probably would have. But you found your own way out. You told everyone what he was up to.
Well, you all sort of told him what he was you all told everyone what he was up to, and also killed him twice. So
well, your
I feel
newsletter is what led to a lot of things. I want you to know how important that was.
I'm glad I could help then.
Well, you shouldn't stop writing.
Well, if I were to leave Titan's Grave, then the newsletter would have to stop because it's only really relevant in Titan's Grave. And it wouldn't, if it followed me, then it would be pretty obvious who I am.
Well, you don't just have to write a newsletter. You could write all sorts of things. Stories. I mean, we travel a lot. You could write about all the things that happen.
That's true. That's true. I could do that.
Well, I'm glad to know that you're not in danger. At least not anymore.
Yes. And I don't know exactly how much danger it was, except for being in danger of a miserable life, which is more danger than I cared to have.
Oh. Well, I mean, I hate to break it to you, but a miserable life is a lot more miserable when it's to a lobster creature.
I don't know if he was a lobster creature until he died the first time, but I agree, yes.
I think that sort of thing was bound to happen eventually.
Well, now I don't need to worry about it.
Well, I want to thank you for showing me around, for your hospitality, for your kindness, and for considering my offer. There's a spot available for you if you want to do more than have everything provided for you. Sounds like a kind of life that you hate.
I will certainly think very hard on it.
All right. Well, I can drop you off at your door.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, they'll get back in the gondola.
Okay. And yeah, you can escort her via waterway back to her home.
And before she goes, Yul will just take her hand again and say, I'll let you know when we're leaving.
Thank you. All right. And she will turn and go back inside.
All right. And Yul will head back to Lady Stanway's.
Okay. While you're doing that, Tedros and Viktoria, you make it to the rare bookshop in East Bridge. I got me doing it. Very big vaulted ceilings, shelves and shelves of books. Those like rolling ladders that you see in the Beast's library from Beauty and the Beast. Just a very big fancy place with like attendants, and then there's like locked cases, like with glass windows on them, and like when you can see like when people. There's a couple of people in the back who are like requesting to see a book in there, and like they go in and like unlock it and open it and then put on white gloves and take the book out and like set it down on a piece of cloth and then like carefully show it off page by page, like as if they're afraid it's going to just crumble into dust at any second.
Fun fact, white gloves, like the fabric gloves, are not actually like museum standard anymore.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of evidence has come out that says like just using your bare ass washed hands is better than
Really?
for like certain artifacts. Books I think are still fabric, okay, but like certain artifacts, it's like the fabric poses more of a risk to it than just washed hand oils, you know?
Oh, that's cool. Well, these people have no idea, so they're still using gloves.
Cool. All right. I'm going right to the shopkeep right now.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say, do you have Aeorian books?
So this place is like, I should describe the shopkeep scenario. There's like multiple desks, almost like a department store jewelry section where there's like multiple counters with people standing by, and then up on the second floor, like behind like a velvet rope situation, is a woman sitting up at a desk that like looks down over the whole place. So you've kind of got like attendants, and then you've got like the head curator up top.
I don't think that deters Victoria. She's going up to the people at the very front and just asking, do you have Aeorian books here?
Aeorian books. We certainly do, yes. They're not divided up by section, but we could certainly we have them we do have them cataloged by nation of origin.
Do you have a catalog that I could look at?
We have the catalog. And it just kind of like gestures back to a like series of those like little tiny drawers. And you can see people like going through and rifling through it. It's got like the little like old school note card system. So they'll say, we don't let customers go through it for fear of people upsetting the careful balance of our organization system, but we can certainly look through for you and would be more than happy to provide assistance.
Okay. Absolutely. I would love assistance in finding a book.
All right. What sort of book are you looking for?
Aeorian fiction.
Okay. Anything specific that you're looking for?
It's kind of like I'll know when I see it. It's a gift for someone.
Okay.
So not like a particular title. I'm just kind of looking for one that I've read already to give to them.
Okay. Are you looking for any specific genre or just any kind of book by a Yorian author?
Anything like political intrigue would be nice.
Okay.
Maybe romance. That one's kind of on the back burner.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. All right, I'm just gonna start. I'll look through. I'll start reading out titles. Do you tell me when something sounds good or familiar?
All right.
Okay. We've got It's Not All Roses.
Okay.
We've got The Devil's Smile.
That sounds like a good one. Okay.
Would you like me to pull that one for you?
Yeah, let's pull The Devil's Smile.
Okay. I'll go find that for you then. Just like pulls out the card, finds it, and then hurries off, and then comes back with a book. It's not in one of the glass case sections. Right here. So we have this book is a political. This one is a political intrigue and romance. Specifically, it is the story of a lord of the what is it? The Lord of the Brimming Sigil region of Aeor, and a bargain that he makes with a demon, fiction of course, in order to further the prospects of his house and lands, while in the process the cost becomes too well, he starts to realize the cost. The cost is the sort of thing that he thinks he can handle. Then, of course, he falls in love, and then the cost becomes starts to interrupt his love life, and then he starts to question which is more important to him: the prosperity of his lands and his house, or the love that he's found. It's a thrilling book.
Is Tedros by Viktoria at this moment, or is he kind of just off by himself?
Tedros, I think, has been keeping an eye out, but I think he would actually have stepped outside briefly and just kind of huddled in the corner by the door. And he was going to try so that he could cast Detect Magic again. Another spell slot for that one.
Okay.
And just gonna kind of skim the just kind of walk past the books and just like walk up and down. Just a very quick 10-minute circuit at the most.
Okay. One second. Okay. So well, that's where Tedros is. The person that you're talking to, Viktoria, is just like, so does that sound good to you, or would you like to keep looking?
No, this sounds very, very relevant. Would Victoria know like the area of Aor that is mentioned in the book?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you'd know of it. You would never have been there, but
Like in passing, like, oh, this is Lord so and so from this area. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Yes. How much?
For this one, it's an Aorian book. 45 gold pieces.
And Victoria's mind just like, fuck, is that a lot? I don't know. Here you go.
All right. Pleasure doing business with you. And he hands to Victoria the devil's smile.
The devil's smile. Yeah, I don't have a pencil. That's not great. Okay, cool. I'm so glad Tedros wasn't around for that because Victoria did become visibly uncomfortable for a hot second there. But it's fine. He didn't see. Nothing's over. Nothing's wrong.
All right.
I guess once she finds her book, if Tedros isn't there, she's gonna go find him.
Okay. Tedros, you do in fact, I rolled for both of these. You do in fact see a little ping of magic. This one is in one of the glass cases, though.
Okay. He makes a mental note and asks for some help. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
That book in that glass case.
It's actually not a book that you're pointing at. It is a scroll in a brass scroll in brass decorated scroll tube that looks like it actually like opens up and like has like a little roller in it, so like it kind of like opens up in the middle and like extends and then like actually is probably spring loaded actually to roll back up. You can't see that from the outside, but it is.
Yeah. What's in that scroll tube?
Oh, well, let's take a look. And the attendant that you talked to, she goes and gets a pair of gloves, and, like turns the key and opens it up, and then she pulls it out very gently, sets it down on like a piece of cloth in front of you, and yeah, it's just kind of like there's like a little like flip latch on the front that she flips open, and then the two halves of the tube split, and she can pull them apart, and it just kind of naturally unrolls. She does it very gently because it looks very old. But it kind of like naturally unrolls. And you can see there's a little bit of tension to it, like it is spring loaded, so it'll just like roll back up and close again. And you would recognize a spell scroll.
Ooh.
And if you, while you're looking at it, if you would like to give me a religion check to see if you can decipher it and determine what spell it is, go ahead.
I will absolutely do that. And I think that he will look at it and quickly make a small motion and say it's a religious text, and he kind of gives a I don't think I've mentioned this, but a lot of times when Tedros is making motions for his spells, they'll often happen in sort of a circle for the moon. So he does that, and in the guise of giving a small short prayer, will also cast guidance on himself. So
okay,
maybe I don't want to roll another one.
Mhm.
That's not a one. That is a. Oh, you said religion.
Yeah.
That's a much better roll. Oh wait. 22.
Okay. You can recognize a spell scroll of Guardian of Faith.
Hmm. He looks and says, "That's very, very interesting."
Yeah. We believe this to be a description of a religious, some sort of religious ceremony. Important to some portion of some kind of ritual, from a religion we have yet to be able to identify.
Interesting. How much is it for sale?
Oh, it is, yes. Something out of given this isn't the case and given its age, and you can see the craftsmanship and the scroll case here, this would be 100 gold pieces.
Okay, all right. Um, very interesting. Okay, I'd like to ask you to hold that for me then.
All right.
Think I might have some interest in that. Taking a
All
look
right.
at that my own self.
And yeah, she'll just like pick it up and then just kind of like let the two halves just kind of close back up again, and it rolls back up inside, and then she just clicks it shut and then gently puts it back on the like little display stand that it was sitting on.
All right. Thank you. I think I found what I was looking for. Much appreciated. And then he will look around for Viktoria, who I think is probably looking for him at this point.
Yeah, Victoria's gone ahead and bought the book.
Oh, you found something.
I found the Devil's Smile.
Oh, interesting. What did it end up being?
It is a political intrigue / romance, from what the clerk was telling me.
Okay.
I think it is right up Lady Stanley's aisle. I've spent 3 days talking in another language. Common is not coming easily for me.
It's a-okay. I understand. And I asked them to put a hold on the scroll over there that
What
might
kind
come
of
in.
scroll?
Let's walk and talk about it. Let's walk and talk if we're done.
Oh, walk and talk. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, okay.
Yeah. And so while they're talking, keeping his voice low, Tedros will essentially explain that it creates, it magically calls forth literally a guardian that'll just kind of stand still and protect, take swings at enemies. And then he'll finish off by saying, and the best part is that it's something that I could use that doesn't require me to tap into my abilities. So even if something else had, happened and I couldn't use my powers or whatever, we'd still have that. So I've actually been thinking about, because there are ways to create them. I've been thinking about doing it myself. It's just time and resources, and we've been up to a lot.
I'm sorry, create the scroll or create the guardian?
The scroll. I thought it would be good to have one, maybe for like, I don't know, like let's say something happened to me, and you needed to be healed. It would be nice to have something that could be used to do that without me necessarily having to be there.
See, that's a fun thought, but I'm not going to let anything happen to you.
I was thinking more about when we got separated in the hag's house.
Right, Papa's.
Yeah. That was more of I didn't want anything to happen to you, but I got lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing happened. But so lucky.
Yeah. And uh, just in general, I've been thinking. This is a long shot. Do you know anything about maybe buying back schematics from somebody you might have sold them to?
Like you sold someone something and then you need it back, so you want to buy it back from them?
More like I sold it to her, not realizing that she was going to use it to help ferry people across to the elemental magnifier for nefarious purposes.
That bitch Ingwe, I forgot about her.
I have not forgotten about her. And I am very, very concerned about her having access to that. It's something that should be used for the people of Sverok, not
Well,
someone murderous.
Last I remember, she was trying to flee the country and go back to Aor, probably to spread some nasty rumors.
Almost assuredly.
Almost positively spreading some nasty rumors. And, God, I wouldn't love to, but
yeah.
We're not an Aor. So, not much I can do about that from here. However, would be nice. I feel like if she does have those schematics in Aor and she didn't, set them ablaze with all the evidence, then most likely not being used to ferry people towards sacrifice in that thing, but it's most likely being used to ferry people to their deaths in war.
Yeah. I'd actually thought about very briefly, about, I don't know, making some money by selling the schematics for the shooting iron, but that's not something I think people should have.
It was very cool, though.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool when you used it against the crab.
Yeah. Hit way harder than I thought it would.
I would not want to be hit with that.
You will never be hit with that.
By your hand, I believe.
By the way, are you two talking about this while you're heading back to Lady Stanway's?
That was the plan, yeah.
Okay. All right. At some point in here, you will probably arrive at Lady Stanway's so that this kind of conversation can also include Yule in it.
So yeah, I think it would be cool. I don't know, like I kind of want to do something here, like before we leave, if that makes sense.
Like, how big of a thing? Like, leave our marks in the history books of Titan's Grave forever kind of thing, or like we were here, carve our name in the tree kind of thing.
Closer to the former, I suppose. Although I guess, we kind of
feel like we've already did that with the crab.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you reach the doors around the same time as Yule's getting home, she would probably very excitedly be waving you down.
Hey.
Where were you? You look happy.
I got to talk to Marietta Veers.
That's good.
How is she?
She's good. I told her that she could come with us if she wants to, and she's going to think about it. She hates the life that she has here.
I understand that.
But she's also a writer.
Yeah?
Yeah,
could have asked her for some advice.
I probably shouldn't tell you.
Oh no, do tell. It's never going to leave us three. Do tell.
It's a secret. I was thinking if she comes with us, she could write about all the things that we do.
Sure, yeah.
And I was also thinking, you know, Lady Stanway really likes adventure books.
About that.
What about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We bought her a book.
Yeah.
You bought her a
Aor.
book? Oh, that's so exciting. What is it about?
It's about a lord of Aor from a region that I do know. So, you know, it's kind of like a piece of me in this book. He makes a deal with the demon to.
So you hit the adventure too, huh? All right.
Yeah, he makes that deal to further his house, gain all the fun things. And then he falls in love, and then is like, fuck, I made a mistake. What do I value more? Furthering my house or love?
Oh, no. Well, that sounds like a very good book.
I hope so. I can't relate to any part of it, so I hope it's good.
So, you got her a fiction book to add to her collection?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking we could add some new non-fiction to her collection.
Oh?
I mean, I'm not a very good writer, but I've been writing about our adventures. You know, Galena told me to journal and everything.
Are you going to leave her your journal?
I was thinking maybe I could take sections of it and, tell her about all the things we've encountered, like the Danger Kitty, and other stuff. And, I know that they don't know about a lot of those creatures, and they have a lot of really interesting ideas about what happened, like, back in the olden times because of some of their adventure books. So we could give them accounts of real things that really happened.
Yeah. I would have liked to keep things under wraps a little bit more, but I don't really think we can kind of keep a lid on what we do so much anymore.
I mean, the things that we were trying to keep a lid on have somewhat been resolved, in Titan's Grave at least. Everyone knows who Sully is and that he hunts monsters.
I was talking more about the tentacles and magic being thrown around. I'm assuming.
But kind of everyone watched.
Magic.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my point. Like, since they've seen us do it, I guess it's not really.
And we're not dead, so clearly it's not a bad thing to show magic.
Well, and they have schools of magic, and they have, it's less common, but, they have stories of heroes of old. And I guess I just kind of like the idea of Sully being a hero for them.
I think he already is.
Well, not if nobody writes about it in the storybooks.
Well, we can definitely make sure that he gets, the attention he deserves. We should probably clear it with him first,
He
though.
doesn't seem like an attention-wanting kind of guy.
That's fair, but if it's a story about all of our adventures, he wouldn't want to be left out.
I wouldn't want to leave him out either.
I think I'm going to go and try and write some things now.
Sounds good. Sounds like you... Wait, are you just getting back?
Yeah, we went on a gondola ride.
Okay.
Where did you go?
We went to the gardens and to this really nice cafe. We got dessert, and she told me about her writing. And I let her know that when we're leaving, I'll send her a message so that she can meet us at the ship if she wants to be there.
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go right.
Okay.
See you guys tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow.
She'll bounce off to her room.
All right.
Okay. Well.
So where are we going once we leave? That's the real question.
That is a good question. I. I would like. I'm gonna be honest. I would really, really like if the Silver Maw could do everything that it's supposed to be able to do. So I kind of want to see if we can find maybe an elemental spirit that's willing to work with us for like an extended period of time. Your sister's got Leviathan, and that works for slower travel. But the experience of flying is kind of unbeatable. Honestly, it was a lot of fun, and also probably a lot faster than any land travel we would be doing. So if we could find, I think, an elemental spirit of fire or wind, I think are our better choices. And it sounds like Aor is it.
Would I have heard any rumblings of that in my time in Aor?
Probably not, though your uncle would probably be a good person to ask, given his tendencies. I will also remind you, because it's been a while, it was a small thing in the middle of a bunch of other stuff. You did actually get another location in Aor, a point of interest.
We did.
Yeah, you weren't there for this one.
Oh,
It was
I did not get it.
It was in the Draconic Union ruin beneath Titan's Grave City. There was a message at the very end of when you were talking to the recording that told you about the I think it was the Magister Arc program, is what I said. And the location for that was a lake in northern Aor. Seemed to be a location of another Draconic Union ruin in northern Aor.
That's a good point. Yep. All right.
Just want to make sure you all remembered that one, because there was a lot happening. It's been a while since that part, so
sounds good. Yeah. I think at that point, Tedros will probably mention that so that Viktoria knows. And I don't remember if that conversation should have been had with everybody who was there, I think. So
okay.
Just not the twins, I think. I think everybody else was there at the time. Because I think
yes. Oh, everyone but the twins, yeah.
Yeah. So he will bring that up and say, I don't know if the lake still exists. I don't know if it does exist, how deep or shallow it might be, or if anything's still there, but I'd be interested in finding out.
Is Viktoria from northern or southern Aor?
Victoria's from southern Aor, because remember, the naming conventions are actually different in the north and the south. The north doesn't use the book method.
Right.
We should hydrate, y'all.
I would hydrate, but actually my hydration has vanished, so I owe you hydration once the stream is over.
Indeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my god, so it's Anto. Sorry, I had to unmute. Hi, Anto. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for the hydrate.
But yeah. When does Tedros like describe the lake and everything to Viktoria?
Mm-hmm.
And so go over that. Okay. Viktoria, you would actually know that is you're not exactly, you'd have to look at a map to know whose territory it's in, and look a little bit more closely. But you would know that lake is still there. It's a rather sizable lake in northern Aor.
Like a touristy destination, or like we're going up to the lake for the weekend?
No, it's actually a little middle of nowhere, actually. It's not a very. It's kind of. It is a landlocked lake. It's in like a basin of mountains, that like kind of run down into it. So, it's not connected to the ocean. And given that Aor is very outwardly focused, it's kind of just like a very. It's like in more of a wild section of Aor that's not necessarily very populated. So the lake itself doesn't really have any towns or anything around it.
Yeah, I don't know who that lake belongs to, but I'm sure if I asked my uncle, he would have like a map of which house it falls under. I mean, my uncle's on pretty good terms with all, I would say, most of the houses. So getting access to it could be hopefully easily arranged if nothing has changed in my time away.
Sounds good to me. I guess the question is, though, is that going to be okay?
What do you mean, is it going to be okay?
Well, just I'm. Is it okay if I talk about like actual stuff now, like less pleasant businessy stuff?
Are we not talking about actual stuff? Like there's legitimately a lake there.
I haven't talked to Yule about it yet, but I wanted to see if she still wanted to track down the circus and see what we can do for them. Um, I feel fairly confident that whatever is going on with Lady Shasa, whatever she actually is not good. And, if she's interested in pursuing that, I want to give her the chance to.
I mean, the lake has been there for how long? It's still probably going to be there.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be up to her, I think. Whatever she wants to do.
Far be it from me to speak on her behalf.
Mm-hmm.
You two have seemed to have gotten quite close recently, so I feel like you know her a bit better than I do. Do you think that she's up for dealing with that? Dealing with a potentially not happy ending?
I honestly don't know, but I think that I have to give her the chance to decide.
She was so happy tonight. Please don't bring it up tonight.
I know, I know, I know. I know. And I think all three of us have been having a really good day today. So
Yeah, I did have a good day.
yeah, I enjoyed getting to spend some time with you. It's been a while.
Yeah, really. It's been a while since we've just hung out, the two of us. I think
Yeah.
the last time was like legitimately when we met.
Yeah, yeah. Glad we're not necessarily risking our lives again.
That
Could
will
do without.
come. That will come.
Okay, all right.
That's the thing with being heroes. We're always going to be risking our lives.
Do we have to though?
I feel like it comes with the hero territory.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even in the stories, the heroes like have a happily ever after, don't they? Like they settle down, start a family, just to enjoy the rest of their days. Isn't that usually how it goes? And they lived happily ever after.
Yeah, but is that the ending that you want?
I don't know. I my adventures, the ones that I planned for anyway, uh, involve just learning about what used to be here. So For me, that sort of adventure is something I'd like to keep doing as long as possible. But if I could be happier somewhere else with someone else, then I'd take that.
I guess that's fair.
Of course, it's a long time off, so I have some time to figure that out.
I mean, we could all die tomorrow, and like, doesn't really matter in the end. That the bug, right?
I don't know about that dying tomorrow part. All of y'all gonna keep living.
What if I'm already dead?
You're not.
How do you know?
Tedros checks to see if any of the servants are around. And he'll pull a bunch of feathers off of his holy symbol and slam his hands together. And instead of going around his shield, they'll just make sort of a ring around his head. Shaking in your boots yet?
I mean, it's quite intense. It's kind of a good look, I'll admit. I like it.
Thank you. But
might be shaking in my boots. I don't know. I'm not wearing boots.
You know what I mean. You're fine.
Yeah. I will be.
All right. So do you two go and just kind of relax for your evening then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going to enlist the help of the servants. I want to find like butcher paper and like paint almost.
Okay.
I want to wrap this book up nicely. And I want to like put which coin do I have? Do I have the replica or do I have the actual coin? I can't remember. I think I gave Tedros the actual coin.
I think so, yeah.
So what does my coin have on it?
I think you made a replica of just your coin, didn't you?
One side has, if I remember correctly, one side has the same image as Tedros's holy symbol, and the other side has what are the sides of yours? Because I don't think it's the 5-star chalice. There's the 5-star chalice, and then there's what's the other symbol on?
I think it's just a star, right?
So when the two coins are put together, like Viktoria's and Galina's, they make the 5-star chalice. So Viktoria's has the 5 stars, and Galina has the chalice, I believe.
I think that's one side. I think both of them on the back match and have just the full 5-star chalice.
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what we said.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, we can retcon it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe
Will's not here to contradict you.
I can say whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
I will dig in my notes and see if I wrote down specifically what that is. See if I can pat myself on the back. But I know one side has the symbol for same symbol that's on Tedros's medallion.
So she may have to track down Tedros and borrow the coin for a second, because what she's trying to do is she's trying to imprint like the house symbol and her symbol onto the paper, so that
if you want both, then you definitely need to borrow from Tedros.
Borrow my coin back from Tedros.
Yes.
Okay. But that's what her intention is she wants to mark it with the symbol of her house and herself, so that Lady Stanway knows it's from her, but also leaving some room for Tedros and Yule and anyone else to add whatever flair they want.
Okay.
Yeah. Tedros will simply because he would ask like what it's for. And he would then just suggest that she use the reverse side with the holy symbol for him.
That's so smart. Cool. Well, here's my coin back to you. I'm going to go find Yul and see if she has anything that wants to be put on it.
My bet's on cabbage.
Do you think she has a cabbage?
I don't know. She has a cabbage. Oh, she might. Doesn't she have a cabbage ring?
A cabbage bracelet, I think.
Yes.
I don't know. It was a very long time ago. I've had so many adventures since then. Knock, knock, knock. Yulyanya. Hello, it is me, your sister.
Hello?
Hi, I have a question for you.
Yule is just like sprawled out on the floor in the middle of the room, like amongst just an unholy amount of scattered pages, and you can see like some of them are like she has like some journals open, and then she has like just random like scraps of paper, and then she's just like drawing with like what appears to be some type of like crayon like writing implement.
I love this energy. I'm so glad to support you in your creative endeavor. If I may borrow you from it for a second.
Yes.
And then she'll like show the wrapped up book and show like the imprints of the coin.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, so this is kind of back in AR how we would sign things so that you know who it's coming from. You would kind of like imprint your house symbol and then like your symbol onto it. So this is my house symbol, this is my symbol, and this is Tedros right here, this holy symbol, that's his. So because this book is kind of from all of us, do you have anything you want to like put on it to say like Yulyanya?
Oh, I don't have a house symbol.
But do you have anything that like represents you? Like anything where if she saw it, she'd be like, yes, I know who that is. Or anything that you want to start using as that.
Could I use this? And then she's gonna pull out her deck of playing cards, and like the front of the deck is like textured. And so she's like, could I stamp it with this?
Victoria's gonna feel the texture and see, is it like conducive to print, or would it just look like a rectangle? So she'll see, kind of feel that.
I'm not sure that would actually be able to just
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, then yeah.
Cool. Then yeah, absolutely we could do this. Okay. If that's what you want to decide, then we can.
Do you have any paint?
Yeah, I got the servants to grab me some. Do you want to like put the ink on and I hold the card, or do you want to hold the card, or?
I'll just, and then she'll just like press the box into the ink.
That works.
And press the little like box of cards onto the parchment paper.
Awesome.
Thank you for including me.
Well, of course, you're part of the family.
I really like being a part of this family.
It's a pretty good family. Now, I don't have much reference, but I think it's one of the best.
Well, you have better reference than I do.
Yeah, I mean, not much, but yeah, sure, if you want.
Well, you've got your twin sister.
I do, right. Right, I remember her.
He left like a week ago. Like a week and a half.
Listen.
And your uncle.
Yes. However, that was kind of a chosen family. That's not like a blood family.
Well, what I'm learning is that that's the family that's most important. I mean, the only other family I have is all chosen. I literally don't know my parents.
Neither do I.
Well, I guess we don't need parents.
No, we don't. We can do whatever we want.
Yes, we can. And right now, I want to write a good story.
Do you want to tell me what you have so far? Or do you want to wait? You want to wait? Okay. We can wait till it's finished.
And she'll just, like, sort of scuttle back, like, in fear of the idea of someone reading it yet. And get back on the floor and, like, keep working.
True artist feeling.
Yep.
No, you cannot read it yet.
Do you want me to close the door?
Yes, please. Open? Thank you.
Okay, I will leave you to your little cave.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Good night.
And then I guess I'm gonna go present Lady Stanway with her book.
Yeah, you can find her. She's up reading in her reading room as she usually is, sitting by a seat that overlooks looks out the window towards the water.
Is the door open or closed?
It doesn't actually. It's not even actually like there's not really a door to it. It's kind of just like a full second chunk of the second floor, landing that looks out over a balcony into part of the first floor. It's almost like a lofted space.
Okay. And is her back to the entrance of this area or?
No, she's leaning up against she's at a seat next to the window, so her back's actually to the opposite wall.
Okay, so she would see me walk in if she's in the peripheral.
Yeah.
I think Viktoria just got the book kind of behind her back, so it kind of just looks like she's walking in, hands clasped behind her back. She's just gonna kind of look out the window and be like, "It is a beautiful night tonight."
Yes, it is.
Are nights often like this in Titan's Grave?
Quite often, yes. Although we do have the rainy season coming up relatively soon.
I don't know if I've experienced much rain.
Well, if you stick around here for a few more months, you will. Though something tells me that's not going to be the case.
No, I don't think so. I don't know where we're going next, but I know we are planning on leaving soon.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I wanted to say how much I appreciated you and your infinite wisdom the few times that I've needed it. So,
well, you have been certainly wonderful house guests, and you have done more for us than some simple rooms and breakfasts could make up for.
I don't know how it works here, but whenever people would visit my uncle and I and my sister and all the other advisors in our house, when they would visit, they would bring something meaningful to give to the host. And so the three of us, Tedros, Yul, and I, have decided to do the same, to thank you for your wonderful hosting and for all that you've given us. And she'll present the wrapped book.
What is this?
With a little bit of a curtsy.
She sets her book down and she takes it from you, and she will, is it wrapped up in twine or something, tie it shut?
Yeah, it's wrapped up in butcher paper with twine, and there's a little 5 looped bow that
Mm.
kind of looks like a star,
Mm-hmm.
but like the twine isn't like stiff enough to hold the point, so it looks like just a flower.
Okay. Yeah, she'll take it. She'll take it and she'll like take a second and look at it and look over the paint on the outside and just kind of runs her fingers over all the symbols and everything before she turns it, and then she finds the little strings on the bow and just like gently pulls and unties the twine and like gradually unwraps it, wrapping it around her hand, kind of like bundling it up and setting it down next to herself. Before she takes the paper and just very gently unfolds it. She doesn't like rip her way through it. Looks like it's like she's trying to save the paper. Uh, and then eventually pulls the book out and looks at it and just, oh, now look at this. I don't have this one.
It's it's from Aor.
Hmm. Well, who would have thought that such a friendship would lead to a foray into foreign fiction?
I mean, and if you like it, when I go back home, I could send you more from Aor, or I could also send an invitation for any party, and you could come and get more if you like it.
Both of those sound lovely. Mostly, I'm just looking forward to hearing from you.
You're not planning on moving houses anytime soon, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Because that would be weird if like we got back to AR and I tried to send you a letter and it came back like, oh, can't find her.
Oh, I've been here for quite some time, and I plan to stay here for quite some time.
I love that for you.
Well, took a while to get here, but I found my way eventually.
She's just awkwardly fidgeting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
come here, come here, come here.
Okay, that's what's going for it. I'll go for the grandma hug.
Yep. Yeah. She pulls you into a sitting grandma hug.
Viktoria really needed that.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying so hard not to like cry right now, but she's just like, oh, I needed just that adult, it's gonna be okay child hug.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got one book to finish, so I can start another one. But I think I'll make sure to start that one once you've all left, so I have something to remember you by.
I don't know what Sullivan is doing with his dragon, but he might leave it. So we could have that to remember us by.
Yes, that should be fine.
Yeah. Thank you again. I really appreciate all the advice you've given me. And so does my hypothetical friend.
I hope your friend finds peace and happiness in her endeavors.
We're working towards it. This hypothetical friend has made some revelations that might be reflected in the book that you've been given.
Well, I look forward especially to the read then.
Cool. Well, good night, Your Grace. Thank you.
Good night.
And then she's leaving. It's like, that was a lot of emotions. I'm gonna go sit out in the garden. Like, I can't be in this house. But I'm not gonna do what happened the last time. That's why I sat in the garden.
Yeah.
Or if I.
You tell me.
I'm not.
Okay. All right. Then I think unless there's anything else anyone wanted to cover before y'all go to bed. All right. Then y'all can go to bed, and that rounds out our sort of Titan's Grave wrap-up downtime. I think a good idea would be in the Discord this week. to discuss amongst yourselves your plan for moving forward, so that we don't have to go through all of the details on stream, and we can kind of just start working towards plans for where to go from there. And I will actually talk to Flo about whenever her return is going to be.
Awesome.
Because if you decide to head in the direction of Aor, that is where Galena is. So we'll just have to see where all this goes. So all right, thank you for joining us, everybody, and hope you enjoyed our little bit of downtime. And we will see you all again next week.